Hey guys, Banana Lock here. Welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. So we have a big banner coming up tomorrow, and it's the Pick Your Limited banner, which we've never had in the game before, and arguably it's gonna be one of the best banners that Watcher of Realms has ever done so far in the game. So it's an exclusive lucky pick. Select one of the release event exclusive heroes excluding Moradin, which just took place last week, to receive a 20 extra rate boost, and you are guaranteed to get them within 200 summons. I think by now everyone is very familiar with how limited summons work, how to manipulate PD, so I will not talk too much about that today. The main thing that I want to drive at today is which limited unit should you get depending on the stage of the game that you're at. So who do we have in the list? If I can just pop up this image here. This was actually from the anniversary recap. You can see from the top left corner we have Wukong, followed by Kigiri, Falxia, Anora, and then after that we have Captain Riff with the pirate ship, Diao Chan with the Liu Bu in the mix, and then Last and Arrogance as well as Dahlia. So 8 units in total. I don't think the game actually shows us that. So people have been asking, and I think this is a good reference point to, take it from. Either ways, you can also pop into the summoning banner and just look out for the units that are not in this list. Basically, if they are not in this list, they're either in Ancients or they are in the limited summoning pool. And if let's say they are not Chaotic or Arbiter, then they have to be limited units because that's the only reason why they are not showing up in this drop rate list here. Alright, so enough of me talking. Let's get right into it. I'll talk about the different scenarios and how you should decide, which unit is the best for you. Okay, first of all, if you're new to the game, you've joined like maybe in the last 2 to 3 months, or you've started a few days ago, few weeks ago, it's a no-brainer. You are going to have to go for Wukong. Why is that so? Wukong is probably one of the best single target units in the game in terms of versatility. So why do I say that? Wukong versus Kigiri, it's very different for the fact that Wukong has 2 tiles, which means that you can put him behind a tank, whereas Kigiri is 1 tile. And don't get me wrong, they have their use cases, but if you're new to the game, brand spanking new, bear in mind that the Wukong banner just went by. So we have no idea when the Wukong banner is going to come against, and given that he's one of the most versatile units in the game with his 2 tile range, the stun in terms of controls, and also the unyielding for his A1, and also being one of the best single target DPS at A5, no doubt you should go for him if you have none of the other limiteds. There's no questions to be asked here. You should go for him, unless you're all about style and you want to go after a certain unit, then be my guest. But if you ask me, brand spanking new, go for Wukong. There's no way that you can go wrong with this. Get him within the 200 summons, and then you can always put Soulstones in him later down the road, or eventually when he gets a rerun, collect more copies there. Unpolished Soulstones are a lot more common in the game these days. There's one from Odyssey, there's also one from clearing both gear dungeons, and that's 2 stones already, not accounting for any future events, as well as Guild Boss drops too. Alright, so now that we've got that out of the way, we go into the more tricky territory, which is, alright, I have Wukong already at A5, but I don't have Kigiri or Diao Chan, which are arguably the more important units there. Kigiri being the top DPS in Abyss 1, and Diao Chan being essential for a lot of endgame content like Tower Deception, as well as Arena. Literally every arena team that you're going to come by, they are going to be using Diao Chan in some capacity. So you can see my defense team here. Literally every single team is using an inspiration unit, with the exception of my AoE team, which I'm using Beelzebub instead. But that's a bait defense. It's a high BP defense, as you can see. 593k BP is to throw off the weak ingrate. But if you go into my actual team, I'm actually using a Magda for the penetration because I don't have Velara to actually make full use of Diao Chan. But you get my point. Diao Chan is essential in Arena. So now here comes the question. If you can only pick one banner to go, which one should it be? So Diao-chan and Kigiri have ever only had one banner. There's a potential for rerun, that's for sure. But the problem is, where are you at in the game? So if let's say you have all these units that I'm showing here, and you have a Villara, you have a Pope, you have an Ingrid, you're all set for Arena, with the exception of the fact that you don't have Diao-chan, and Arena is going to be your focus, and there's some endgame content that you're hoping to clear, then Diao-chan is the obvious thing to go for here. But if let's say you don't give a crap about Arena, then Kigiri is going to be the choice for you. People may argue that, you know what, I can't get Kigiri to A3, so you know what, I just shouldn't summon for him at all. That's a fair point, but bear in mind that if you pick Kigiri now, the next time his banner comes back, it's going to be A1 for you. And that's guaranteed. There's no RNG there. And like I said about Wukong, there's a lot of places in the game that gives you unpolished Soulstones now. It is way more common than a polished, than a legendary Soulstone. So honestly, think about your priorities. Another good area for Kigiri is Samura, because he does cleanse, and if you awaken him to A3, he does insane damage there. So if you're a mid-game player, I would say you're mid-game if you don't have Diao-chan or Kigiri, because Diao-chan literally just came at the start of this year. So if you don't have either of those, have a think about it. Is Arena something that you want to focus on? Do you want to clear some stages of Tower Deception, which require Diao-chan? Then in that case, you have to go for Diao-chan. And bear in mind, she needs A1 to reach her full potential, because otherwise, she's not going to have enough range to get there. So I'm just going to show the range here. A1 increases basic attack range, and what happens here is that her range from Dolores range becomes an alien range instead, which just unlocks the possibilities of where you can use her. So yeah, sum it up again. If you care about Arena, you care about Tower, and you have all the other units required to build a sick AoE team, then go for Diao-chan and try to get A1. A3 is going to be the best that you can get her to. Otherwise, go for Kigiri. That's going to secure your Samura scores to 120k, and also secure your Abyss to at least 22k with both of those units, because they are the best DPS in the game right now for Abyss. Okay, so now we're done with the mid gamers. Let's go into the end game territory. So I'm going to pull up this screen again. There's a lot of units here that we haven't talked about yet. There's Captain Rift, which is great for GVG, great for Hellfire's Codex. In some situations for GVG, I have to be specific. There's also Last and Arrogance. Last specifically is a limited, but she has been power crept pretty hard. We are seeing a skin for her this weekend, so we're not sure whether they'll do a rework on her to buff her further, but that's something to bear in mind. And then with Dahlia, very situational unit, not really used as much. And then we have Faoxia, who got a huge rework this recently and was added to the SO faction, which is amazing right now with all the influx of SO units that we've gotten. And then last but not least, with Anora. I'll say out of all these units, Anora as well as Captain Rift are going to be very GVG focused. But if you ask me, I'll say that if you already have an Imret, then Anora is going to be a much better complement for you. Anora is going to do so much, especially if you already have an Imret, you have that bond skill, it's going to allow her to actually inflict Winter's Bite on every unit that comes by, even though Imret is not in his ultimate, and that's huge. Other units, I'll say it's more for collection purpose. Some people love Last, they didn't get to summon her when she came by, maybe they just joined the game or they joined after that. They're still running ads for her, so that's the proposition. And then if you care about Hellfire's Codex and some defense teams where Captain Rift is required to slow down swarm teams, then that's another thing to think of. And then you also have Faoxia, Dahlia, a lot more situational, but I'll say that if none of those things that I've just spoken matter to you at all, then I will go even back for Wukong, Diao-chan, or Kigiri. there's another reason why you'll go back for them even though they're A5. So I'm going to wrap up this video shortly, but basically take a look at my Anora. She's A5 right now with 3 unpolished Soulstones in her, which means that if I go for the Anora banner this weekend, I can actually benefit quite a bit from it because I already have A6 Anora. So I need 2 more copies of her to actually get those 3 Soulstones back and still keep her at A5. And I have a lot of summons for that. RNG can be a bitch, but you know what? That's probably going to be my game plan, getting that 3 Soulstones back. So if that's going to be the case for you, if you did summon Wukong, even though he was A5 already with Soulstones, I shared this earlier when Wukong came back. If you actually did that, then it's not too bad of an idea to actually summon for Wukong again this time around just to retrieve Soulstones, given that most of us still have a reset book ongoing. So that's another reason why you'll go back to summon for those units if they're already A5, because you want to make sure that you get those stones back, and that's kind of guaranteed in a sense of awakenings. If let's say, like in my case, I just get 2 copies back, I'm going to be guaranteed 3 awakening stones, which I could use on Kigiri that will bring him to A3. So that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you do have any more questions, drop it down in the comment section below. I'll say good luck on your summons. Make sure you manipulate for pity because there is a new unit, Draylin, that's out. And then there's Talin, amazing unit, which I've raved about ever since I put her during the Moradin banner. Make sure you PD manipulate for them because limited summons guarantees that you get the hero within 200 summons, which means that if let's say you're close to PD, it's actually much better off that you swap to another banner, summon on that, come back to the limited banner again, and that's most of the time gonna snag you 2 legendaries in 200 or so summons. Alright, if you have any more questions about PD swap, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them. If not, my Discord server is in the link. You can come in and pop your question and I'll be more than happy to share them. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, leave a like or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video, and good luck in all your summons. Goodbye.